tree. Look at me, I'm so pretty, baby. Come with me. Bitch. 1, 2, 3. Look at me, I'm so pretty, baby. Come with me.
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome back to CZE Podcast. I beat you to it.
Schwanzcast.
Oh, Schwanzcast. Is that how? Did I say it wrong? Did I say it wrong?
Say it like Schwanzcast.
Well, it was like a question mark. I don't know if it was real German or not, but
it's real German.
All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's get into the news. This is crazy, and this is awesome. What happened with Donald Trump on Saturday, working at McDonald's? Let's roll that clip from CNN.
Let's take a look.
Donald Trump stepping behind the counter at a Pennsylvania McDonald's at a campaign stop yesterday.
I'm looking for a job, and I've always wanted to work at McDonald's. I never did. I'm running against somebody that said she did, but it turned out to be a totally phony story.
God.
So if you don't mind, I want to work the French fry counter.
So Trump there again claiming without evidence that Kamala Harris never worked at McDonald's in the 80s. That dispute inspiring this campaign stop over the weekend. Trump, no stranger to the Golden Arches. His love for their fast food is well documented. In 2019, Trump hosted Clemson's football team after they won the national championship and served this spread of French fries and hamburgers to them at the White House. During his Sunday visit to McDonald's, Trump donned an apron and manned the fry station. He handed out food through the drive-thru window to customers who, according to the Washington Post, were pre-screened by the Secret Service as the restaurant was closed to the public for the event.
I love salt. Wait a minute, I spilled some. I'm very superstitious.
All right, joining us now, Kevin Fry, Washington correspondent for Spectrum News, New York One. Kevin, good morning to you.
Man, I don't think that you get more relatable to American people
Than working at a McDonald's.
than working at somewhere. Americans love McDonald's.
Yeah.
So when you're relating, he's a billionaire doing something Kamala Harris said that she did and clearly did not. McDonald's even came out with a statement saying that they have no record of her working there. That's insanely crazy. Trump went out of his way to troll her and actually work there and relate to people. And the election's over.
Especially in a state like
If it's fair.
Pennsylvania, which is going to play a really big part in this election.
Yeah.
Doing something like that there, man, this man's got he's got a good noggin on his shoulders. He's a smart man.
Clearly. I just love it, man. I love that Trump can go in there and just be like, I've been looking for a job. I've always wanted to work at McDonald's.
This guy looks so beat when he got
Can I get a fry? Can I be the fry cook? Like, he just walked in there. He owned it.
Can I get a job, please?
And
you think they
people
paid him?
loved it. Did you see? Can you find a clip? There's a video of all the people that were outside. It was like thousands and thousands of people outside the McDonald's, like right across the street protesting. I'm not sure if we can find something like that.
Did he announce that he was going to do that?
But yeah, it was ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
But like that was completely amazing. Like Kamala Harris, she still doesn't know how to relate to the average American people. She's bringing people like Usher and Lizzo and Stevie Wonder up on stage, and
throwing ass and shit.
Yeah, what's that lady's name who was like twerking?
Sexy Red?
Is that the twerker?
Or Megan Thee Stallion?
Yeah, I think that's it. But either way, she's hanging out with her millionaire friends and her things like that up on stage, trying to get people to come see it. She needs celebrities in order to draw a big crowd. And as Trump shows up at McDonald's, you have thousands of people outside the McDonald's super excited that Trump's even there, ready to...
The one guy that pulled up, "Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President."
Dude,
So
that guy was so grateful. Yes. That guy was awesome. Like, it's just...
what America runs on.
It is. And it's like, he could have done that at a 7-Eleven, and people, I think, would have acted the same. It's just one of the greatest things and most iconic videos and photo of Trump. There's that meme. Have you seen the meme?
While waving out the window?
Yeah, him waving out the window, and
Yeah.
people have been making memes out of that. But, oh man, if I didn't want McDonald's before, and I don't eat McDonald's, if I didn't want McDonald's before, I want it now. Like, he made those fries look so good.
You did. All right, let's finish this up, and then we'll look for the other thing you were looking for.
I'll refrain from making the puns about your name. I'm so sorry that.
What's his name?
This ended up being the intro to you.
I avoided the small fry terminology when I was a child growing up as a kid, so let's not play that.
But let's talk about the actual fries, because, I have to say, when I initially saw these pictures of Trump, I was, they're not the image that he was looking to project to the world for his time as the apprentice and the businessman, and they run very, contrary to kind of the golden,
Pause it.
the gold that.
Look at this. And you had that one article. I just want to say you had that one article about a McDonald's chef. I don't know how you can call yourself a chef if you work at McDonald's, but the McDonald's chef going, oh, it's a lot harder than he thinks. You have to get the oil just right and just the right amount of salt and all. It's very simple. You cut the bag open, you put it in the basket, you put it in the oil,
Yep.
and then you put it on the rack, let it dry, and then you do the salt.
Put some salt.
Oh my, it's pretty. It's not. You don't need to be a nuclear
It's not rocket
scientist.
science.
You don't need to be a nuclear scientist in order to make fries at McDonald's.
Yep.
McDonald's is meant for like people getting into the job career, people starting out to build their resume up. That's what McDonald's is like there for. It's not meant for like a career. That's why you always see a bunch of teenagers that just want to get drunk and buy alcohol, like trying to save up as much money as they can, working at McDonald's and the Burger Kings and all the fast food restaurants.
Yep.
But what's awesome and authentic about this is he's so authentic. Trump is so authentic because he's somebody who really does love McDonald's. Like he loves his McDonald's. And it's amazing to see him actually perform, again, something that Kamala Harris only says that she did, when there's no actual evidence of her doing that.
This is interesting. Kamala's going to be doing a town hall on Wednesday.
Okay.
Moderated by...
Oh, is this is this Pennsylvania?
I don't know. It was presented by CNN.
Oh, moderated by Anderson Cooper.
You know that guy?
Yes. Get an easier... You've never heard of Anderson Cooper? Has he
done anything so far?
Gray, yeah, he's worked for CNN forever.
Well, not that, like, for Kamala, has he done anything for
I
her yet?
don't know, but I know it's going to be the biggest, well, I'm not going to say the biggest softball interview because she was on Howard Stern, that rebel, who, gave her hell.
That rebel.
God, what a piece of...
Is in his apartment in Fifth Avenue. If you go to any of his offices, you will see kind of everything is gilded. They clearly, though, are trying to run a strategy of appealing to working class voters here in the final stretch. And obviously this is aimed at poking at Kamala Harris and something they are claiming about her, again, that she puts in her ads. She worked at McDonald's one summer when she was going to school. What did you make of this, and what else did you take away from it?
Well, I mean, look, as you mentioned, this is about appealing to those working class voters and trying to maybe, one, poke fun at Kamala Harris. It kind of fits into a long line of Trump taking, without any degree of evidence, umbrage with people's factual back histories, be it Barack Obama being an American citizen, Kamala Harris working as a fry cook. But
I can just imagine him. Oh, these are some very fine fries. Here's your fries, man.
These are the greatest fries. Some say they're the best. The greatest. We've never tasted fries like this. That's what they tell me.
Very salty. Salt to taste.
Salt to taste.
But also, yes, I mean, he's in Pennsylvania. He's trying to appeal to these working class voters, also trying to appeal, it seems, to men.
And it's working.
Through this as well. And so this is seemingly just part of this strategy. It also tries to play into this, I think, way that the campaign is trying to kind of present him as a fun, sort of, off-the-wall kind of candidate that you can't predict.
Because he is a fun candidate. He's having fun with his campaign. You know who's not? Kamala Harris.
She's shaking in her boots. She's always on edge.
She's not having fun with her campaign. She's being desperate with her campaign.
She's always either drunk or just complaining about how nothing works in her favor. But she sucks as a candidate and a person.
She does. She's a liar. Like, lying Kamala. You can always tell who's going to win, if it's fair, who's going to win, by the amount of fun that they're having running their campaign.
Yeah.
And Trump is having a blast running his campaign. And he's having fun with it. He's messing around. He's working at McDonald's, doing all sorts of and by the way, somebody unlike Kamala Harris, who's just kind of off subject, but not afraid to go into the lion's den, if you will, to enemy territory and do these hardcore interviews. Kamala's done one. And would you call the Brett Baer interview hardcore? No. He's like one of the most fair journalists, like even kill type people.
She even managed to make him mad, though.
Well, I don't think she made him mad.
She didn't make him mad, but she was irritating him with the "let me talk, let me finish." I
don't think he was irritated either. I think he was just not. He just wasn't going to let her
like,
get away with not answering specific
not
questions that he was trying to get specific answers out.
Yeah, right.
Because every single other word out of her mouth is Donald Trump. Donald Trump. She's even promoting Donald Trump. But he's having fun with his campaign.
He is.
So
it's the important thing. Or it looks like this video's done.
Yep.
So
it's honestly just amazing to me how she could even still be in a position to where people are calling it close. But we know it's not close. Because if you go to, let's bring up Real Clear Polling. And you can see that in every single swing state, Trump leads the way. Trump is ahead in every single.
40s, he's up by 0.8% in Pennsylvania.
North Carolina
0.5. Georgia 1.8. Damn.
Yeah, and I think what this does is take all the polls and kind of
compacts them.
Yep.
Compounds them.
Out of all of them, here we go. National. Okay, so
National Harris is up by 0.9.
Oh yeah, this. Okay, so top. So these are the different. Okay, the different polls. Okay.
Trump's up by 1. Democrats are up in the generic congressional vote by 1. President Biden job approval. 56.2 disapprove of his job.
Yeah, and these a lot of these go back up all the way. These even include all those polls that lean, and there's a lot of polls that lean very far left and always have a bias towards the left.
Yeah.
And this is something insane to look at when you're. This is something insane to look at when you think about all the stuff that you're hearing online. And now I don't believe the polls when they're good. I don't believe the polls when they're bad. The polls have always lied. The polls have always been kind of dishonest. I mean, there's a couple times. I mean, they can tell you certain things in my humble opinion. They can tell you certain things and kind of show you kind of where things are trending or who has the motivation or whatever. But it's not like a telltale sign. We still need to get out there and vote. We still need to do our thing, support Donald Trump and JD Vance. But I just find it fascinating.
This is interesting.
That as many people and as much stuff as you're seeing online and stuff like that, so you just got to ignore all the noise about Harris winning, Harris being over the edge. She's trying to play her campaign as the underdog. She's not the underdog. Nope. Trump's the underdog. She's the one who people projected to win. And I can honestly tell you, if she wins, if she gets in that office, I think America's done for.
America's done.
I think we ran our race and we are Rome falling in a day.
It's sad. So this chart right here we're looking at, this is about this time last year, October 15, 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trump was up. Biden was down. Trump's up. Trump went down a little bit in January. I don't know why that was. And then Trump kind of stayed down for a little bit. Rose back up. Okay, now we're in April. So just 6 months ago? 5 months ago? Something like that.
Okay.
So Biden's up just a little bit. And then Trump just skyrocketed. Now this is around the time it started getting closer to the debate. They debated in January sometime. Or
July.
June.
Was it June?
Late June, yep.
Yeah. Yep.
They debated. Biden was July 21st.
Dude,
after the
that's
debate.
Crazy.
After the debate. And then after Biden withdrawals, Kamala gets announced as the new candidate, right?
Fell down to 43%. And Trump
down.
went up to what? Went up to 49%.
He went up to 48, 49%. And then after that, after Biden withdrew, Kamala got in, and then she started going up, and then they were just kind of in this like little tight race here.
So in Pennsylvania, a very key state, a lot of people say that you win Pennsylvania, you basically win it. I think if he wins Pennsylvania, he also is going to win Michigan. But the thing is, that the thing that's so great about this is these people are paying attention. These people are we're tired of money. They're tired of their tax dollars going to Ukraine. They're tired of, and that's a Kamala Harris thing. They're tired of illegal immigration. You've heard what's happening in Aurora, Colorado. You've heard what's happening in Springfield, Ohio. You've heard what's happening in New York City now and in San Antonio, Texas. And all these murderers, it's 10 million people plus that the border czar, Kamala Harris, has let in to our country.
Yeah.
It's 10 million plus.
It's ridiculous.
It is, we need a strong leader in office. We need a strong leader in office who is not afraid to fire people. I don't think Biden's fired one person.
I actually saw this clip of him the other day where someone was like in his office interviewing him, and he's like, "So when you press that button, does it give you ice cream?" And Biden goes, "We'll see." And he presses the button, and someone comes in with ice cream and gives it to him. And it's like, the dude's work. And then someone in the comments of that post, they were like, every button in that room he presses probably gets an ice cream.
You know what? At least at least Biden doesn't know like what he's doing. You know who has no excuse? Kamala. Because she knows what she's doing. She's just a pathological lying bitch.
He's just so, like, Biden's just so old at this point. He just needs to go.
He's not even, gone. Okay, like, people bring in age. I don't personally believe it's even about age. It's about, like, how cognitive, what's your cognitive ability? Like, if you're senile, I don't care if you're, just because you're younger, if you're 55 and have Alzheimer's, I don't want you being the president. I don't want you being anything or anyone that represents the American people and the United States to the world.
Let's watch this little clip here.
Gonna get into the interview.
We cannot wake up the morning after Election Day wishing we had done more.
Got the ad.
The truth is,
shut up, bitch!
Is increasingly unstable and unhinged. And he is out for unchecked
like
power. That's what he's looking for.
He's the one who talks about an enemy within. An enemy within. Talking about the American people.
You see, that's the kind of that's the kind of rhetoric that starts assassination attempts. So it really is.
My God, bro.
Like that's the kind of rhetoric. You're saying that he's the enemy the enemy within. You're saying that he's a threat to democracy. You're saying that he is Hitler, literally Hitler. You're saying that like all the left is saying if he gets in, he's going to put black people, he's going to lock them away. If you really think this, you get some demented guy who really thinks this, God forbid, you have a third assassination attempt on your hands. Because if you really believe somebody to be Hitler, to be literally just as bad as Hitler, you're going to think, well, man, I'd be an idiot if I didn't go and do something about this. But, thank God they kind of beefed up his security a little bit. Not nearly enough, but there obviously needs to be some reform when Trump gets in there November 5th.
Yeah, it's, like I just said, I can't deal with 4 years of that. The way she talks.
She has that, like, whiny, like,
yeah, she's always whining.
It's Donald Trump's fault. He did it.
Trump, and within her interview with Fox News as well, Vice President Kamala Harris sowing fear about Donald Trump's intentions and state of mind if elected. No question the Democratic nominee is targeting the independent and Republican voters concerned that she's speaking the truth. Of course, it wasn't all positive for Harris as seen in this exchange with Bret Baier.
How many illegal immigrants would you
This is great. Check this out.
estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And You know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
you
now,
just
which
enough.
is-
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because the topic of immigration is a subject and topic that needs to be had. And I think you know that I'm going to talk about the topic of immigration because it is, after all, a conversation that America has to have. I'm talking.
Well, now they got to hear it twice.
Number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point
Get to the
is
point.
that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
Folks, as someone who has
What do you
been
think? What do you
It's your immigration system.
What do you-
The borders are.
Yeah, how much common sense does that make to you?
Let's get to the point. The point is we have an immigration system that
We
needs
have
to
a
be
problem.
fixed.
We have a problem. Oh my! And people are going out and voting for this. Remember, this is the same side that wants your kids' no parts cut off. This is the same side that wants you to be okay with drag queen story hour and having drag queens in the classroom in elementary schools. These are the same people that go, we don't need any borders. These are the same people that cry out, January 6th was an insurrection. And they don't want to even revisit or talk about the summer of love in 2020. They don't want to talk about the billions and billions of dollars it cost when they burned down cities, when they took over like half a block in Seattle, or I think there's a couple blocks, but like in Chop Chaz,
Yes, yep.
like they don't want to talk about that. They want to forget about that. They want you to forget that they were Molotov cocktailing the White House when Trump was in, and Trump had to go down underneath into the bunker. Like, and people want to make fun of Trump. They want to make fun of Trump for that, and they're showing January 6th was the problem. People are voting for this. This is serious. People are voting for this.
We haven't had a worse candidate since, I don't even think Joe Biden was this bad.
She's worse than Woodrow Wilson. Like, this is one of the worst candidates for president. By the way, threat to democracy, how many votes did she get? How many people voted for Kamala Harris to run for president? 0. 0 people voted. Biden was removed against his will. Kamala took over, and 0 people voted for her. But they have to go with it. But now she's exposed. She's exposed from her interviews, from her ignorance, from her lack of knowledge among any subject besides the answer being Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
You know,
Donald Trump.
Donald fuck. Okay. So, you know that whole thing that kind of Charlie Kirk did with those like 20 liberals or whatever?
Oh, God.
And then the one guy came and did the 20 conservatives. And he like posts on TikTok and he's like, oh, this guy was the worst of them. And like, he's just like, he gives off the most like gay vibes that I can think, doesn't he?
He does.
Or like beta male vibe. Like, and I'm not even talking like, oh, Alpha's strong.
Well,
beta. Like, he just gives off the, hi guys, if the wind comes, it's gonna blow me over. Like it, like.
I didn't like it when Charlie Kirk did it. I don't know what it's called, where he debates the 20 liberal.
Yeah.
And I don't like it when the other guy does it. However, if you're going to do it, Charlie Kirk is your man to do it. Charlie Kirk is obviously on his game. Like, he knows his shit, right?
People get mad at him.
That liberal guy who did it, everything he was saying, like, didn't make sense or wasn't factually true. He couldn't back it. Yeah. And, like, he just showed that 20 conservatives killed him, but Charlie Kirk kind of killed the 20 liberals in that debate. I don't think you learn anything in that short amount of time. That's why I'm like, I don't know.
It kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
The thing is like, and people go online and post like this, but specifically those people that did debate Charlie Kirk, they go on their TikTok accounts and they post like these little edits of him saying that if his 5-year-old daughter got raped, that he would like make her give birth to the child. And it's like, dude, that's not an easy position no matter what decision you make to do. It, like, you don't kill you think you kill the baby and then you go home and celebrate.
I recently had an experience where I was driving with somebody and their friend got on the phone And they might have been intoxicated, this person. We'll call him, I don't know. We'll call her
Jimbo.
Shelby and her best friend, Ginny. So Shelby's best friend, Ginny, calls her, and Ginny's on the phone. She sees I have a MAGA hat on, Make America Great Again, and she goes, "Oh my God, what is that on your head?" She goes, Donald Trump. So you're cool with, huh? Great. Sorry, can we edit that? You're cool with the R word. You're cool with grape, right? You're cool with someone getting sexually assaulted. You're okay with that. And then, like, they always go for the personal attack. She goes, "Well, I hope your daughter, God forbid your daughter, ever have to experience." I was like, what is the name of the victim? Do you know the name of the victim? You seem to know an awful lot. Like, what's the name of the victim that Trump sexually assaulted? They don't know. They're just throwing out talking points because all they do is watch MSNBC, CNN, ABC, all the alphabet lettered news agencies, and that's all they do. Is they take their talking points, they take a little bit, they don't research it, they don't try and look up like any facts or evidence behind it, and they just go, yeah, Donald Trump totally went downtown New York City into one of the biggest like shopping areas and one of the biggest stores in front of everybody and threw E. Jean Carroll, that lying bitch, allegedly, into a stall and just had his way with it, right? And everybody just stood by and there's no witnesses, nobody to collaborate, just like there wasn't with what's that lady's name who accused Brett Kavanaugh. Just like that, no witnesses, nobody to collaborate. Nothing. And then how many years later, do you see how sick and twisted these people are? These people are beyond sick and twisted. They will go to any length possible to make sure that you are lied to and to get their point across. Whether it's lying to you, whether it's cheating elections, and then saying that we're not able to challenge the election when that's our right. Stacey Abrams, Hillary Clinton.
She did challenge the election.
Yes. You have people that have challenged elections, and it didn't become a problem until Trump wanted to challenge an election. And by the way, when he also on January 6th, I don't know, you must be living under a rock at this point if you haven't seen, where Trump actually tells them to go and peacefully, patriotically protest. It's ridiculous at this point. Anyways, back to
politicians' questions for
segue.
nearly 40 years. I feel confident in saying that was a dodge and a public refusal to take any degree of responsibility. Panel, agree or disagree?
Yeah,
Marcus?
Opening Arthur dangerous as
pop of the 10, 11, 12 million folks that came in.
I'm gonna do this.
Are you looking for the Brett Baer interview?
Yeah. This looks like it's it.
How long is it? Yeah. So just fast forward.
Whatever you can send to the campaign, we put it into commercials. We're doing a lot of commercials, and they're really
Here we
good.
go.
Madam Vice President, thank you for the time.
Thank you. It's such a good regret.
Voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Right. Let's just get to the point. Okay. The point is that we have a broken immigration.
I don't give a fuck how much sexual assault that my campaign has caused, how many abortions I've caused. Let's just get to the point. It's got to be fixed.
Well, what's funny is like that's really the only question that like that you even the rest of the interview is much of the same, right? Because All she does is
Let's get
dip,
to the-
dodge, and dive all the questions, avoid. And then her people, later on, I think if you fast forward to the end, her people literally tell her, wrap it up. It's time to go. It's time to go. And you see Brett Baer go, I'm getting a hard wrap. And later on, you realize her people are like, yeah, we're done. After she already came late to the interview.
Yeah.
After she already came late to the interview.
Immigration system that needs to
Disrespect.
be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
So
an
roughly
immigration
talking.
6
system
million
I'm
people have
Excuse
been
me.
released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to
Look
your
at
question. I
this.
promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies.
Her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely.
Oh, go back just a tiny bit.
Responsible for the death of,
A little bit.
I believe, the full 3-week because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release. They were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what
I
I'm
will
saying.
tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions.
Did you see that? That mother, whose daughter would still be alive if it wasn't for your border policies. 2 weeks after that man got let loose in this country and killed her daughter. Killed her daughter. Simple thing. Do you owe that mother an apology? Dip, dodge, and dive. Dip, dodge, and dive, and then goes to I'm just so sorry for that family. It's like you caused it. Her blood is on your hands, Kamala.
Sad. It's ridiculous.
That mother's heartbroken. She's pouring her heart out, and she's telling you where the fault lies, and she's not wrong. The fault lies with the Biden-Harris campaign. I guess now the Harris-Walls, whatever, tampon Tim. And she has the gall to literally just say, I'm sorry, or I feel sorry for what they're going through. Sincerely, I do. But let's talk about Donald Trump. This is a sick, sick world, you guys. It's a sick, sick world, y'all. And just something to think about when you do go to the voting polls. At this point, if you already have your mind made up, everybody, I think, has their mind made up who they're voting for. And for those of you who might be still a little bit confused or still kind of out there on, well, I'm on the fence, which I don't think anybody is. But
Watch things like this.
if you are, do your own research.
It'll help.
Don't take a conservative word for it or a liberal word for it. Look it up yourself. Get left-wing sources, get right-wing sources. Look it up, collaborate, and you'll find that one of us is a giant liar, much more than the other.
And the other one just wants to make the country a better place. Make it to where you can afford housing, groceries, gas.
And don't get me wrong, not conservatives
Raise
aren't
a kid.
conservatives aren't perfect, but we're better than the left.
Than that. I think we're gonna wrap it up there.
Yep. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of CZE Podcast.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next time.
We'll see you guys.